Yahoro minasan. This is Yuki, and today I'm going to talk about my two favorite comedy harem anime, which I think were really enjoyable. And I know that the harem genre is usually the least liked genre for all women. However, I think these two ones are actually the exception because of the nature of the protagonist. And another clarification I would like to give before diving into my two recommendations is that this is not the kind of harem anime where the protagonist basically get to know many girls and they're all flirting with him, or he's flirting with all of them and then he ends up with just one of them at the end of the plot or the end of the anime. But I'm speaking about the kind of harem anime where the protagonist actually doesn't make a choice and he makes it clear that he wants to be in a relationship with all of them. So let's start. First of all, Kanojo mo Kanojo, girlfriend, girlfriend, something like that. And I think the most impressive thing about this kind of shows is the protagonist, which in this case called Naoya. And the most important trait for Naoya is his honesty, his blunt honesty. Like he doesn't hold back at all. And this is the most funny element of it, and this is what makes all the protagonists from Saki Saki, which is like his childhood friend, childhood first love. He confessed it to her hundreds, thousands of times. And she was literally planning on accepting him on that day in her high school. At some point, she was like, "Okay, I need to admit it. I actually like him, and I actually should stop being shy about it, and I should go ahead with accepting his confession." But on the day she accepted his confession, another girl called Nagisa, she also confessed it to him, and she decided that she did a lot to change herself in order to become like a suitable waifu. And he was so touched by her confession too. He was like, "You know what? My heart cannot choose. I want to date you both." She's kind of really mad. And he went to both of them. He called them on the rooftop, and he was like, "Guys, just make it clear. I love you both equally. I'm not moving forward without making this clear." This was on the very first episode, just imagine. And then there is Mirika, and then there is Shino. And I think even the personalities of each girl is very peculiar, because you have Saki Saki, who's like a top-notch tsundere, and she's always violent, she's always beating him, but, well, she of course likes him, but she's so bad at expressing her emotion. You have Nagisa, the perfect waifu, my waifu. She's so good at cooking, she does her best, with everything, she's so cute. But surprisingly, she's really terrible at studying, like really terrible, even worse than Saki Saki, even worse than Naoya. And you have Mirika, who's like a YouTuber, gamer YouTuber, and she's so popular, she makes a lot of money out of her YouTube channel, but she's so clingy, she has no ego whatsoever, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to get Naoya. And Naoya literally rejected her hundreds of times, says like, "I have two girlfriends, I have to be loyal to them." But she's like, "No, there is no way I'm accepting this as the..." So at first she was like, "You know what, you have to break up with them and date me, just me." Then she was like, "No, maybe it's not such a bad idea to be part of this harem." So it was very funny how far she went in order to convince him. And then we have Shino, which is another unexpected character because she's actually the best friend of Saki Saki, and she knows how much Saki Saki spent time into liking Naoya secretly. So that was another crazy turnout in season 2. And I'm not gonna spoil you about Shino. I hope you discover her when you give the show a chance. Now I'm going to move on to talk about the second one, which is the 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really like you. Yeah, that's literally the name. Literally just the name. And here you have your typical or maybe unbelievably tenacious manga writer who was thinking, what if I really design 100 different girls for one protagonist? Which is kind of mad, yeah, again. So the story starts with our favorite character, Aijo Rentaro, who's so unlucky that he has been confessing to every girl he likes. And the last one he confessed to it was number 100, and she rejected him. And he was heartbroken, but again, like, he just thinks like, okay, it just happens. I mean, I have been rejected so many times, I'm not ever surprised. And even his friend was asking him, when was the first time you ever fell in love? He was like, oh, back in kindergarten. And He was like, okay, stop, don't tell me more about it. And so there is this character called God or whatever of this word, and he is sort of writing people's luck in life or love life. And instead of giving Ajo Rintaro just one soulmate, gave him accidentally 100 soulmates. Like he literally, instead of writing one, he wrote 100, which is so. And when when Rintaro was asking him in the shrine, like, why did you always, why did you put me in such a difficult situation? And he was like, well, by the way, if you don't accept the confession of all these 100 girls, they're gonna die. They'll just die. And so, again, we have this Aijo Rintaro character, like, whenever he looks at one girl, and this girl is one of his 100 soulmates, it's gonna be like electric shock. And it's very funny reactions going on there. But again, not all the girls are the same. They're not all gonna take the same approach to this kind of feelings. So we have the two first girls who are Karane and Hakari. Karane is your typical tsundere, and Hakari is just she's just, how should I put it in a nice way, your horny girl. So anyway, I love so much Hakari, like she's so funny. And then after Hakari and Karane, after accepting both their confessions because he don't want to put their lives in danger, there was Kusuri. Kusuri has a really strange situation. You're gonna see her as a child, you're gonna also see her as an adult because she tried to create a life eternity drug, but instead she turns herself in as a child for a few hours and then she turns back to her old self. So yeah, literally your perfect lolly ever. And then there is Shizuka. Well, as her name indicates, Shizuka is very quiet girl. She's the bookworm. She's almost like dark-haired. Well, not that one. Yeah. So basically, if you take the character of Komi-san from Komi Can't Communicate, and you try to split her personality into two other characters, you will give the black hair character to Kusuri, to Shizuka, and then you will give the cool attitude to Nano. So this is how I see it. Yeah, and of course there is a character of Nano who many people would call like Russian Komi-san. I'm not gonna spoil you further about it, but the thing you will enjoy the most in this show is basically Aijo Rintaro himself. Because you might think like, okay, this is a show about the guy getting a lot of girls and a lot of fan service, so why would I as a girl or woman try to watch it? I think the author didn't cut short the character of Aijo Rintaro, and he made him also the ideal husband. He's very honest, he ties the smallest detail, he really cares about everyone, he tries to get into their hobbies, support their careers, support what they like, be there for them, remember their birthdays, remember what their worry is. Like literally your perfect otome dream guy. I'm not even joking. So I hope that you enjoy these two shows. And goodbye. Thank you.